Could you fathom the idea that having fewer possessions not only enhances your gratitude for what you already possess, but also serves as a gentle nudge that happiness doesn't hinge on abundance? Moreover, would you entertain the notion that simplifying your life by reducing belongings is far more attainable than commonly assumed? Gone are the days of searching for a hidden formula or adhering to a specific count of items. Though perhaps there are a couple of strategies worth considering. Nonetheless, my aim today is to unveil 10 practical methods for embracing minimalism, enabling you to take immediate action without excessive deliberation. The top priority is to spend less. Our spending habits directly impact our consumption and possessions. To own less, it's crucial to spend less. However, this isn't the sole solution. It's also vital to spend consciously. This entails setting clear financial objectives, making thoughtful purchases, resisting impulse buying, or even as basic as drafting a shopping list and planning before heading out. Number 2 is desire less. If your goal is to own fewer possessions, then you need to cultivate a lesser desire for acquiring things. However, understanding how to diminish this desire proves challenging until we delve into the roots of why our initial inclination is often towards wanting more. It's not always fair to generalize an explanation for this, as each of us is a unique individual shaped by diverse backgrounds and personal stories. While these factors undoubtedly influence our behaviors and thoughts, I contend that there's one universal force propelling the urge for more, beyond our inherent human tendencies. This force is gratitude, or its absence. When we fail to appreciate what we already have, whether it's abundant or scarce, a void forms, a feeling of dissatisfaction that fuels the impulse to accumulate more. Number 3, let go of the guilt. Instead of feeling bad about how you spend money or how long you keep things, remind yourself that you've already paid the price. Imagine this. You bought something expensive, and now you feel guilty about getting rid of it because it feels like wasting money. But here's the thing. The money is gone already, and selling the item won't get it back. If you keep holding on to it without using it or finding another purpose for it, you're still paying for it. Not with money, but with your time to take care of it, the space it takes up in your home, and the stress it adds when you see clutter around. Your attachment to what you spent might stop you from getting rid of it, but in the long run, it costs you more. Number 4, loosen your grip. I've come to understand that the initial step toward releasing is to loosen your hold. When you contemplate the expenses incurred in acquiring and safeguarding your possessions, whether it's the monetary cost we just discussed, or the investment of time, energy, and emotion, you gradually realize the true burden of ownership, especially of accumulating more. As this realization sinks in, it becomes easier to relinquish. Remember, objects don't have hands. They aren't grasping onto us, nor do they hold emotional attachments to us. It's us who tightly grasp onto them. It's up to us to learn to let go. Number 5, embrace the art of uncommitting. This concept has been eloquently articulated by Greg McKeown, the author of the book Essentialism. He explains it using a term known as the endowment effect. Rather than paraphrase his words, I encourage you to listen to him directly. Here's an excerpt from his Skillshare class titled Simple Productivity: How to Accomplish More with Less. The endowment effect is a widely recognized concept in the literature. It describes our tendency to assign higher value to something simply because we possess it. While this principle serves us well in appreciating and maintaining our possessions like homes, it can also trap us into holding onto projects or commitments solely because they belong to us. How can we liberate ourselves from this mindset? By prompting our minds with a different question: how much would I be willing to invest at this moment to initiate this project? This shift in perspective enables us to assess the present worth of a project rather than being swayed by past investments or biases of ownership. Now, let's extend this inquiry to our belongings. Many of us retain possessions because of the significant investments we've made in them previously. We find it challenging to release or disengage due to the fallacy of sunk costs. However, if we were to inquire, how much would I be willing to invest now in this item, be it clothing, furniture, or trinkets, our viewpoint could undergo a profound transformation. Hence, why not contemplate the idea of letting go? Number 6. Embrace your role as the guardian of your possessions. In my interactions with others, I've noticed a common tendency among humans. We readily defend our ownership of things, yet we often lack the same fervor when justifying why we don't possess certain items. This observation prompts an important question. Why do we prioritize justifying ownership over explaining abstention? Therefore, I encourage you to break free from this pattern and fully embrace the role of being your own gatekeeper. Take charge of what enters your life by critically evaluating whether each possession truly enhances your well-being and aligns with your values. If something fails to contribute positively to your life journey, have the courage to deny it entry into your sacred space. By exercising discernment and setting clear boundaries, you empower yourself to curate a life filled with meaningful experiences and possessions that genuinely resonate with your soul. The 7th principle is release duplicates, but only when it's logical to do so. I advocate for this because I firmly believe that minimalism isn't about deprivation. If your circumstances demand having more than others or multiple versions of something, that's perfectly acceptable. Releasing duplicates is a suggestion aimed at promoting mindful consumption rather than a rigid rule dictating your values. What I mean is, whenever you encounter duplicates in your life, question yourself. What purpose does owning more than one of this item serve? How does this duplicate contribute to my life? If you can provide a sensible answer, then it's worth keeping. However, if you struggle to justify it or provide a meaningful reason, I urge you to reassess whether it's truly necessary. Number 8 is declutter as you live. It can feel overwhelming to think about spending countless hours each day and week decluttering your surroundings. I mean, who wants to spend all their free time doing that? Certainly not me. There are plenty of things that I cherish and enjoy doing, and I want to ensure I have time for them. That's why I've adopted the practice of decluttering as I go, and I strongly encourage you to do the same. Now, it's true that if you're just starting out on your journey or attempting minimalism again, it might initially require an hour or two, or even a few days, of focused and intentional decluttering to gain some traction. But once you get started and establish some momentum, maintaining that momentum is as simple as decluttering as you go. It becomes part of your daily routine, a habit, almost second nature. For instance, when you're getting dressed and you find a shirt that you haven't worn in years, don't just hang it back up or stash it away in a drawer. And don't deceive yourself into thinking you'll wear it next summer. Instead, consider donating it. You'll save yourself a lot of time in the long run. The 9th point emphasizes the importance of being fully present in our lives. Many of us, if we're honest, fail to achieve this because we're easily distracted. Our attention is divided between what truly matters and moments we mistakenly perceive as important. Despite knowing the value of presence, distractions have taken control, erecting barriers and obstacles that can be overcome through mindfulness. Self-awareness is the key to understanding ourselves deeply. Once we've attained this understanding, making changes to our spending habits and consumption patterns becomes more manageable. If you found this article beneficial, please leave a comment below indicating which aspect resonated with you the most. Additionally, I've curated a playlist on embracing minimalism for those new to the concept. Feel free to explore it if you're interested. Keep progressing on your journey and always remain true to yourself. We'll reconvene in the next installment. And the 10th, also the final point for today, is knowing when it's enough. The message of knowing when it's enough speaks to the awareness and contentment with what we have, rather than constantly desiring and pursuing more. It encourages us to recognize the true value of the experiences, relationships, and possessions we already possess, rather than always seeking fervently to accumulate more and more. When we know when it's enough, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and happiness, rather than relying solely on material abundance. This enables us to find joy in the simple and humble moments, and to discover the richness of life without constantly chasing after more.